As Steve Siebold, the author of How Rich People Think and a massive consultant for some of the biggest companies in the world, once said, in a free market economy, anybody can make as much money as they want. With that being said, you most certainly have the power to buy $1 billion worth of real estate. Yes, with a B. $1 billion worth of real estate by the age of 30 if that's your goal, by the age of 40, by the age of 50, by the age of 60 if that's your goal, no matter how old you are, and in a short period of time, whether it's 5 or 10 years. You definitely can make it happen, but you have to do the right things in order to make that happen. I personally set the goal of hitting $1 billion in holdings by the time I'm 30, and I am currently 25 years old. It's a 5-year goal of mine. I set it earlier in this year, and it changed the way I think since I set that goal in motion. We're in Houston right now, walking our new 56-unit crazy property here. It starts down there.
We got a lot of $1 billion man.
You're in luck because I'm going to outline how I'm going to make that happen right now, with that being my goal. Let's jump right in. Retiring young seems to be everybody's goal right now. Personally, I want to work until the day that I die, but I want the flexibility to do what I want, and I think real estate is definitely the best way to get you to that space. Maybe you've already got millions of dollars worth of real estate, or you're just getting started, but regardless, it doesn't matter. You always want to study up on the game and figure out how to be better. That's why I have a key advantage of getting to my $1 billion goal by 30 years old, because I love to learn the business. In real estate, there's so many different asset classes, so there's endless opportunities to learn how those asset classes work. And without loving to learn the business, you're never going to be able to scale the business fast. To get to $1 billion in holdings, that means you can't sell a lot of property. If you plan to buy fast, the way I'm doing by 30 years old, and hold on to that to have it in holdings, I'm not going to be able to flip my properties quick enough to be able to add it up and hold them long enough. My goal is to buy, renovate, rent, refinance, hold. Buy, stabilize, hold. Even if I'm not refinancing out. Whether it's a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan, or a 1-month plan, I'm trying to sell as little real estate as possible. That's not easy. That leads you to have to focus on your income. Your personal income may have to come from other sources if you plan on holding for the long term, which is where real generational wealth is built. I used to do side hustles, like e-commerce stores and digital media, handling other people's social media accounts, whether they're brick and mortar stores or a brand new startup. I did that for $2,000 a month, just enough to get by while I was focusing on buying properties and investing everything I had and raising money into buying and holding those properties. As time goes on, your passive income is going to be enough to get rid of your active income side. It took me 3 years in order to get to the place where I stopped having to do a side hustle in order to sustain my personal life. And today, I definitely don't have to do any side hustles. I get to invest in everything that I want to because my passive income is doing fantastic and it's still only growing. The flash. You gotta get rid of that, my friends. You can't be flexing if you plan on being in the investment game. It's going to take you a lot of time and money in order to get to where you need to be, in order to get to $1 billion, if you're starting from scratch, of course. And being flashy, buying Lamborghinis, fancy watches, fancy jewelry, and doing all this crazy stuff is definitely not going to be what's getting you there. What's going to get you there is prioritizing your investments and studying up on the game in order to get there. Once you have enough real estate, even if $1 billion isn't your goal, then you can divulge and go crazy and buy whatever you want. But until then, you should probably focus on what's most important. And I'll give you guys a little secret. When you do focus on those right things, then you really don't want the luxury things. It doesn't become a want of yours. Your desire is obtaining your goals. Regarding fancy cars and flashiness, if that makes you happy, to each their own. Personally, I just want to build my $1 billion portfolio, and my dead-on focus is what's going to get me there. I don't believe that if I were focused the way I am, I would never get to my $1 billion goal by 30. But my desires align specifically with getting there, and because of that, I'm going to get there. Be Disciplined. God, how many times do I have to talk about this? I meet people all the time and they don't have that basic knowledge of discipline or self-control in order to achieve what they want to get to. I mean, for God's sakes, you have to be disciplined enough to surround yourself with good people. If you don't, they're just going to bring you down. You want to surround yourself with people that bring you up. They don't have to be smarter than you all the time, but they may have a skill that you don't have, and that's great. That'll help you get up there. They might be having conversations that are going to bring you down, make you depressed, or put you in a space that you don't want to be in, and you have to be disciplined enough to know that those aren't the people for you in your life right now. It's going to be hard, but I highly suggest you put a straight cut on the people that aren't providing value to you and helping you grow as a person. And believe me, it goes both ways. If people bring you up, you're definitely bringing them up as well. And if you're not, they shouldn't be around you. Keep that in mind and stay self-disciplined. It's crucial in order for you to get to that $1 billion goal, or for myself to get to that $1 billion goal. Saving your money. Okay, I bet you didn't expect that one. And this is going to be a little confusing. But you're not saving to save money and leave it in the bank. You're saving whatever you can in order to reinvest it in your holdings portfolio. Personally, I live on thin ice. Like, my life is on a thin line at all times. I reinvest every penny that comes in to a fault. I am so devoted to hitting my goals that I will live on a credit card in order to get there. Everything that comes in goes back out. And because of that, I've been able to build a portfolio north of $50 million in only a couple of years. I don't have to live like this. I choose to in order to get to my $1 billion goal by 30 years old. Otherwise, what would I do with the money? It'll sit in the bank and I'll just buy things that I don't need. Goals, 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 goals. If you don't set high goals, big goals, goals that scare you when you think about them, then what are you doing with yourself? Set big goals, because you're going to get there. And if you fall short, you probably got much further than you initially anticipated. Once you set big goals, you'll figure out how to get to those goals. And everything you do on a day-to-day basis will surround itself with, what do I need to do in order to get to where I want to be? And the only way to get there is with setting big goals. The second I set a $1 billion goal by 30, my entire mindset shifted. I don't need as much money coming into myself personally. I need more money to hire. I don't need to do this on the weekends. I need to focus on building processes in order to scale. Because if I don't, I'll overwhelm myself. I need to get myself in front of more people in different states. Because in Long Island, it's going to be tough for me to hit my $1 billion goal by 30. In other states, there's tons of opportunities just like Long Island, and if I can replicate the team that I built here in different states with endless opportunities, I could probably scale even faster than I can at home. Picture yourself turning 30 years old and saying, I have $1 billion in real estate. I know it sounds a little crazy, but I hope I get there, I hope you get there, and I hope this content helps you get there. Regardless, I hope you enjoyed this video, even if you just got some insight on goal setting and surrounding yourself with the right people. I highly suggest you share this with somebody that's setting too small goals or none at all. And if you don't have those goals in place, get started with setting them. Like, shoot a comment over, let us know what you think, and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm going to be dropping endless videos. Thanks for tuning in. Check you later.